Hey there, everybody and anybody, and welcome to the Darkest Dungeon. I've been playing this a little bit on stream and a little bit on my own just to kind of get an idea of it. But I'm going to go ahead and start a bit of a YouTube kind of, I don't know if I'll do episodes of this, but, you know, maybe some splattering here and there, you know, kind of see how it goes. This is a very interesting game. So it's very much like I would say, similar to like a roguelike in a way. You go through, you get money, you can upgrade your stuff, you know, so you can kind of go on that way. You complete quests, except it's not like like Binding of Isaac or anything where you die, you lose, and you just do it all over again, and you'll unlock things as you go. When you have a character who dies, that's it. They're dead forever and ever. So, you know, once all those upgrades and everything that you got for them will be completely gone. So that's the very interesting thing about this. So basically, you're going to go through this map right down here, and you're just going to move from room to room. Every one of these little paths here might have something good, bad, you know, it might have treasure, it might have a trap, or it might have a battle in there as well. And then you get to a room, and the room could also have a battle, or also have treasure, or anything like that, or it might just be an empty room. And I'll kind of explain that kind of as we go through, kind of what you do. But as you go through and you get more money and stuff like that, you will unlock different things in your town. And then basically you just keep upgrading things and you keep going on quests. It's good to have a mix of different characters as you kind of go through, because once you level up these characters, if it's way too easy for them, they just won't go in your party. They'll go, nope, I'm not doing this. Whereas same thing goes the other way. If it's too hard, you'll have the characters that'll go, nope, I'm not going to be in there because I'm going to die. So it's one of those things where you have to have a nice balance of different characters in there. Basically, so you'll end up succeeding. There are two major things that are a part of going through here, and that would be up at the top. There's this radiant light. You have torches that you can purchase or find. I don't have any torches down here. This is the very beginning of the game, which will increase your light. If it gets really dark, you'll increase your stress levels. You'll hit more traps, and enemies will surprise you and get to strike first and things like that. So it's always within your interest to keep this up pretty high. The other thing is stress levels. If you look at the very bottom, it says your health bar, and then underneath that is stress. Once you hit, just let me backtrack here. Everything that you do, from walking to the light going out to fighting certain people, will increase your stress. Once you hit 100 stress, that stress will have some sort of effect on your character. Now, the stress could be really bad, making them skip their turns, hurt themselves, or make the choices of what you want to do for you. Or they could be good. You could actually have some good stress where they will become more powerful. They will heal a little bit. They'll get more critical chances, things like that. But there's more often than not, it's going to be bad instead of good. So you'd like to try to keep your stress low. Once you hit 200 stress, your character will have a heart attack and die. So it's definitely within your interest to get rid of your stress, which again you can do at the town. Again, I will explain that when we get to town. So let's go through the road first. We need to select our destination, and then you just move forward and backwards. You can click instead, but the WASD makes it a little bit
Dispatch
easier.
this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
They're surprised. It is turn-based, very similar to like your Final Fantasy and stuff like that. And basically, they have different resistances and things like that. As you can see, this person's human. It says their protect, their dodge, and their speed. And then they have their resistances. This person has a 20% chance to resist bleed. This causes bleed. All right, this debuffs. But I'm going to try to make him bleed because he only has 20%.
A singular strike.
And since he has bleed, he would have died this turn anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let him die. I'll show you a protect, so you can give yourself buffs as you go through as well.
Clear.
And we're just going to keep going. And then we see things. So you just go up to him, you hit W, do it. You can click as well, it doesn't really matter.
Leave nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places. An ambush. Send these vermin.
Now the other thing you can do is you can look.
The owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Okay. So you can look at what people do. It sometimes has skills, and you can see it. It doesn't really have it here. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the grape shot, which will hit multiple people at once for less damage typically, but it can help because you can't always get the person in front. Alright, so I am going to, because this person's human, and this does extra damage on one person unholy, the damage is still okay, but I'm going to go ahead and stun him. Stunning blow. Perfect. And now he won't be able to fight me next turn. No, his turn.
Obliterated.
Nope. That sucks. Alright. So, I'm going to try to make this guy bleed. And then I might protect me because it'll make him more likely to try to hit me, and I increase my protect.
A blazing star is born.
Alright. And bleeds and blight is another damage over time effect. Can stack on each other. Do more damage per round, things like that. I'm going to try to stun him again. And as you can see from what he did, you can actually push people around as he pushed me back. And you can change that. You can move forward or backwards and, take out your turn. But again, it consumes your turn. So I'm just going to try to finish him off here.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic.
He would have died no matter what.
Unless inordinate exsanguination.
Okay, so now that the quest is complete, I can go to the town or I can continue adventuring, which I'm going to do just because I want to hit up that chest, which was trapped, and he blighted me, which is not a big deal because I can use this anti-venom to clear this blight, so I won't get that damage. Which I'll do just to show it. Or, since the quest was completed and I have nowhere else to go, I can just go click up at the top there and it'll return me to Hamlet no matter what. So you get the treasure that you collected, and these will sell immediately, so I got an extra 1,000. And then your heirlooms here, your busts. These things are so you can upgrade. So you have busts, you have portraits, okay, you have deeds to places, and you have like a crest, basically. It looks like a little shield, but it would be like a family crest. And again, it's how you upgrade things. So sometimes at the end, I didn't get one this time, but you can have in here, it'll have like the smiley, sad face that you would see at like in the theater and stuff like that for the comedies and dramas. So basically, the smiley face is a positive thing. the frowning is a negative thing, and it's just a part of your character. Now, I didn't get one this time, but probably next time I'll get one. So it's when you completed the quest, you got something positive or negative out of it. Sometimes you can get both.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid
Okay, so
hamlet,
this...
these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
So this
In time,
is
you
the
will
town,
know
and
the
you can go
tragic
through and you can
extent
buy
of my
certain
failings.
things, you can sell things, and if you come up to the corner here, you can go ahead and
charms gathered from all the
upgrade.
forgotten corners
So
of the earth.
I can reduce my trinket cost, I can increase the trinkets that they have to 4. I'm not going to do that right now. But then you have the stagecoach where you can add new heroes that'll bring new people in. So
Fools.
I have 9 available
All will find their way to us now that the road
slots
is
in
clear.
here, and I can upgrade my network, increase my roster size to 12, which I'm not going to do that yet because there's no point to it right now. When I embark on my next quest, I can add those people on there, so I can have 4 in there. So the graveyard's where
Most will end up here,
you can go through the
covered
people
in
that
the
died.
poisoned earth.
And then you have your sanitarium, your abbey, and your tavern. So with the... Oh, I have to unlock them. The tavern and the abbey, you can reduce your stress. With the sanitarium, that's if you have a lot of negative quirks. Like if you look here, he's got the quirks here. You have the Warrior of Light, which he does extra damage with the torchlight above 75. And then he's also a kleptomaniac, so he'll steal things that you can go through. And he's God-fearing, he'll only pray for stress relief. Okay, so if you went to the Abbey, there's a thing for prayer, and that's how we can reduce the stress. But if I go to the Sanitarium, I can go and I can get rid of one of these two, sometimes multiple, depending on how far you've upgraded. So, we're going to go ahead and embark on the next quest here. Now that we saw how it looks. So now we can go in here, we can pick where we're going to go. So we're going to go in the ruins. Alright, and when it's green it means it's easier. Then it gets harder and harder, so you have yellow, and then red, which is too hard for people. So basically we want to upgrade these people as we go through. And so we have Rord and Runeville here that I'm going to add. Now Rord, she is a healer. So she can attack if she's close enough, which she doesn't need to be. She has a ranged thing that can heal her as well. A heal to anybody in the party, and she does Hand of Light. Now, I actually haven't used Hand of Light before in any of my other characters, so that'd be interesting because all of the characters are different. So I think you can unlock these as you upgrade them, but the starting unlock actually is random. Okay, it's RNG. So Dazzling Light, Divine Comfort, Illumination. Sometimes those will be unlocked instead of these, and you'll have different things. Yeah, this is, you can kind of be anywhere. I actually don't like her thing. That's fine. It's possible when we come back for the next one, when we do embark, they'll have more people, and maybe it'll have a different set of skills that we can have. Actually, do like this one. I prefer this one to this one, but it's fine. So these are buffs usually over here. And then over here we have a stun that he does, a blight grenade, and another blight. Now the good thing about this is the plague grenade will hit people in the back, where the noxious blast will hit people in the front. So you kind of can blight just about anybody that you want in there. And blight is like a bleed, it has a damage over time effect. So
the cost of preparedness, measured now in gold.
Now you want to have
Later,
food, and you want to have torches, and I usually go with 8 torches, and seeing how this is going to be short, I'm just going to do 8 food, but a lot of times I'll just do 12. You can add some of these other ones. It might be a good idea to get some more anti-venom, maybe some bandages for bleed. As you unlock different things, sometimes your character can do things like this one, Battlefield Medicine, which will cure blight and bleed and heal a little bit as well. I don't have those right now, so I may pop one of these, so I'll have one of each. You can move these around if you want to, doesn't really matter. And then we'll embark. So when you first pick a place that you want to go, it'll kind of tell you what the requirements are for this one. It is Scout. So we want to explore 90% of the rooms on here. Now if you go to the map, it will have this. Some of the cool things is when you go through and you complete a room, it will have like a it'll scout for you ahead, so you know what's there. So sometimes what you want to do is you want to
the way is lit.
Look, see what you get, pick it up. This one happens to be a torch, and I'm going to use it so you can see that it increases your light. As you walk through, your light will start to decrease. Remember, the more light, the better. So these guys are unholy, so Reynold here is going to do a lot of damage. I'm just going to try to hit everybody, just get a little bit extra in there. Now, he does the noxious blast when they're close. When they're further away, you can do the plague grenade, but I don't have anybody back here. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on just the first guy is fine. So now he's blighted, so he'll get 5 damage per round.
That comes on its own.
So, I could just attack him and finish him off, but the heal, you have a certain amount. Like this does 4 to 5, so I could do, you know, it's luck of the draw. You can do either or you could end up critting and do an extra heal.
Another one falls.
And as you can see, he did a ton of damage because he has...
driven into the mud.
I'll explain that in a second. He has his smite, which does 15% extra damage versus the unholy. So we're going to go to the next room. Now, perfect. As you can see, we have rubble.
The cold stone.
You can have a spade or shovel that will break it down for you, but it will consume that shovel. If I weren't to get a shovel, which sometimes does happen to you, you will take some damage, and it will take some time to get rid of that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and play grenade this one, mostly because this one here, this cultist acolyte, does
confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Thank you. She does stress damage, so she'll pick you out. She'll go, oh, here, and you'll get like 1 damage, and you'll get like 20 stress. And we want to try to keep stress as low as possible. So both of these guys are unholy, so I'm just gonna smite them real quick. I will try to get rid of that one. Unable to. And just hit both.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy.
So yes, there are corpses that can get in the way. You can just kill them if you want to. Another thing you can do is you have some characters that have an ability to push and pull. When they do have that ability, it is pretty nice. It does some good work. To move those corpses out of the way, and those will decay over time. But if you have like 2 in the front that are corpses, and you have 2 in the back, Reynold here can only hit people in the front typically, so he would have to fight through all of those corpses to get to the next part. And I could see this feeling overly complicated, but it's usually not too bad.
The light, the promise of safety. Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried
Okay,
home.
now the keys are usually used for when you have a locked chest like this. You could just bust it open and possibly get something. However, if you use a key, you can usually get more items or better items. Oof, that dodged. So these guys hurt, which is, it stinks, but they don't increase your stress. I can heal that. The stress, I can't heal, typically. So I want to try to keep them as little stressed as possible here.
Exposed to a killing blow.
Now, one of the cool things is that when you crit, you can relieve your stress. Sometimes heal yourself, things like that. When they crit, you will get extra stress. So it is not a fun time. Oh, shit. I love my stress a lot. Oh, yay. Good dodge, good dodge. Let's heal you up.
Sedated.
And so right now we're gonna build on that blight so it does 8 damage. She's gonna die next turn, so I'm not worried about her anymore. Now he's bleeding, so if I use a bandage, it'll cure him up, but it consumes the bandage. I'm gonna make this guy bleed because the woman in the back is gonna die this turn. So let's just get rid of him.
Disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
And then she's dead. Because the blight's stacked on top of her.
Beware.
So now we're going to go here.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
And it says you can open it, ignore it, or you can use something to open it, which gets me extra stuff and consumes the key.
Performed.
And there we go. Now you have the scouting, which is telling me what's ahead. Ooh, I got a lot of scouting. So I do have a trap ahead, but if you look, I do have resistances. You have 50% trap resistance. So he does a really good job of getting out traps, whereas some of my other characters are not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick on as him. And as we walk through, you'll see that you move a little bit closer. And then we have the trap ahead. So I'm going to use him, and I'm going to click on the trap. And sometimes it will disarm, other times it will cause damage to me, like I trigger the trap. But when I know it's there, then it's not usually too bad. So I'm going to go down here, because even though there's another trap, which I can disarm, there's also a curio and a battle ahead, so I want to possibly pick up whatever that is, which can be, again, a good or a bad thing. So we're going to hurt them as much as possible. I'm going to stun this one. I resisted. These guys are all unholy. So they're going to miss. Good job. Let's just cause damage to them then. But I'll heal up some of these guys next turn. Good dodge, good dodge. Ooh, that one hurt. Hit them all again. Let's heal this plague doctor first. I got a crit, which, as you see that little 4 over there, decreases stress by 4, which was nice. Just poison him, get him out of there. He's gonna die. Smite him.
Back to the pit. Their formation is
He's
broken.
gonna die next turn.
Maintain the offensive.
show what those buffs do. It's going to increase his damage and his speed. Good. I wanted an extra heal before he died. That way, I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to take all those. And then I can pick whoever I want. I'm going to use...
insidious killer.
I like his stuff, although I like the inspiring cry better, so I'm going to wait on him. I actually like all his stuff too. So I'm going to use him, and I'm going to get this holy fountain, and sometimes it'll give you stuff, so heal them, so I wish I used on her. But sometimes it'll give you a cool little quirk and things like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move back to this area. So once you go through an area already, I already know everything that's in here. It does a couple of things. One, it makes it so your torch doesn't go out as quickly. And you don't have to, like, disarm a trap again or anything.
As the
like
light
that.
gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
So, like I said, this guy's a kleptomaniac, so he'll steal items. He actually hasn't done it yet, which is nice. But a lot of times what he'll do is he'll go, oh, I want that. And he'll go in and he'll just take an item. Alright. So we're doing pretty good here. So I'm going to continue adventuring just for a little bit. And we're going to go into these other rooms, or this other room. Probably get another battle or something in there. And ooh, right here, I did get another shovel, which is nice. So I might have another battle, I might not. Perfect. So this guy here, I actually want to take out because he also does a lot of stress. So that little tempting goblet puts a 19 stress on me. So I want to take him out as soon as possible. Like that. And then I don't have to worry about his stress anymore. So... that's nice. Decrease the stress. Let's try to stun him. Perfect. Both unholy, so I might as well just take any of them out. Alright, this guy's trying to focus here. So seeing how he only has 6 health left, I'm gonna... oh, man. I'm gonna heal him. Next turn, try to keep him alive as long as possible. Resist me. Killing me.
As the fiend falls.
So when all the health goes down, you don't necessarily die right away. You get up to what's called on death's door. Now death's door is basically the next hit that you take, you're gonna die. You're gonna die next turn.
Death by inches.
Let's heal you up a little bit more. And then that person's gone for good. But with somebody like her here, she will just go ahead and heal him every time, and he'll get right off of death's door. Unfortunately, it does make it so they'll a lot of times get very, oh no, that person's dead. Let's heal you again. And then
slow death.
Alright.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
So, we'll use you. See, get extra stuff. So now that I've searched all of these rooms, I've got, like, all the curios, we're just gonna go ahead and go back. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. So when you open it up, it'll say, oh, nice. So you can upgrade your weapons and armor eventually once you've, can unlock them. And then he's going to be cheaper because of that, which is kind of Nice. Okay, he gets less stress, which is great. In town, will never drink. So basically, drinking is a stress reliever, and she won't be able to use that stress reliever ever. With the sanitarium, I can get rid of that. That one's not a big deal, so I don't care too much about that. That's nice too. Especially because I don't like her setup all that much. I might want to change her out.
Interest and obsession. Mile markers on my road to damnation.
So now we have stress relief over here. And I could take him and I could put him through meditation, prayer, or flagellation so he can raise himself to feel better. Or he could go to the bar, but the caretaker will block up one of these, gambling, or go to the brothel. So I probably will use him to go in there, especially because he's got a backup here. So what do you do? Ooh, you do that, and I like that. The only one you don't do is the Noxious Blast, which honestly is not a huge deal. I do like that. So I am going to pick him up. So he's a part of my group now.
Than the blood-soaked battlefield.
So he's now more like a very close shot because he only has the pistol shot. He doesn't have the other ones of these. And this one will move him in a forward direction, which typically does more damage, but, you know, will move you forward so you can't do some other things. So there's a positive and negative to those. I'm not going to go ahead and pick him up. I like the person I'm using better. I am going to upgrade this part, which will upgrade the number of heroes to 3. So there'll be 3 people here that I can choose from after that. I did get a common stone, which I can pick a person, which I'll just pop up Reynold here, I think. And I can take that and I can give it to them in their inventory. So now he has decreased his speed, but he now has a 15, or you know what? He doesn't have a bleed thing, does he? He does not. So I'm not going to give it to him. But you can increase your bleed chance. Who has a bleed? You have a bleed. So I've now decreased him to 6, but his bleed is now 15% more of a chance of them actually bleeding. So it'll make it so if you have somebody who has this, you can go, okay, it's a positive negative, so he does decrease his speed, although it's still at 6, so that's fine. But he will more likely, make this person bleed. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the tavern, and I'm gonna go put him in there, which he has a known cheat, so he can't gamble in town. Alright, so I'll just put him in the brothel and spend 1,500 gold to get him there. Now, blacksmith, that will upgrade armor and weapons when I get it. The guild will have you unlock more. I think you. I'm trying to remember. I believe you unlock more skills that way. There's all. Okay, thank you. There's also. There's another one, which I just don't think is here yet. Maybe it will be, but it will make it so you can. There are times that you can camp. So if you're on a really long quest, you can go through, and then you can say, okay, this is a good place to camp, and then you can heal and do things like that later, and just basically increase your abilities. And then in one of those places you can make your abilities while you're camping, better. But that is going to be it for this look at Darkest Dungeon. If you guys like it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I will be sure, because I am really enjoying this, to do more episodes for YouTube for it. Otherwise, I may just do it on stream and kind of see how it goes. So again, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this content here. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.